Hello and welcome to Taco Tuesdays.
Hi, we're back.
So, Chef, what's on the menu for tonight?
Leftover tacos from Victory. So we're having an Italian taco.
Ooh.
So,
All right.
because I won an Italian steak sandwich cooking contest last night, so we've got a little bit of leftovers, and you weren't able to be there. So this is your way of enjoying it in the form of a taco because it is Taco Tuesday, which I'm told is a pun. I'm actually supposed to talk to you and not just cook.
You're the one who kind of named it in this. Well, I guess I did name it, but you came up with the spelling, which
That's true.
Talk.
I'm the more punnier one.
You are the more punnier one
of the mix.
Of the joint at all.
So do you want to tell me what we're going to make really quickly? You got some choices to make.
Okay.
Corn or cauliflower? Cauliflower. More puns.
Let's do cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Cauliflower. Okay.
Okay.
And we've got some cabbage slaw with a little bit of banana peppers. We got some tomato we're going to throw in there. And since you're dairy free, we got some, or cow dairy free, we got some sheep yogurt. We're going to make a little ricotta number there. And some fresh herbs. And of course the steak. The marinated steak that's going to taste better today than it did yesterday.
Woohoo. Nice. Sounds great.
So you do the talking while I do the tacoing.
Okay. Well, we're in a new kitchen than when we did this last time. So we decided to move and get married all within a month's time.
Yes.
How was that for you?
Oh, it's been a whirlwind, that's for sure. So,
what was the most stressful part in being a couple during that move?
We were ships passing quite a bit. I was sick. You were on a business trip in Austin.
That's true.
And we just kind of needed to zig and zag and have very little communication, but also have a lot of patience and also have a lot of trust in one another along the whole way. And that's difficult for any relationship. And then, you can talk about what I'm like when I'm sick. I'm generally a very helpful servant, love to help people, but when I get sick, I kind of want to punch out and not have to do anything. So,
yeah.
So that was a challenge. How about for you?
I think it was feeling stretched for time. There was that one kind of couple of days right before I left from my work trip, and I felt that was a bug on the cutting board. Where did that go from?
Oh, we ask that question again, shall we? So what was stressful for you?
And, but the days before, I just felt so strained. There was all of this stuff left in our storage unit in the basement of the old house. And I felt like I had to get it all done because you were sick and I was leaving and I didn't want you to have to do everything by yourself. I mean, it was just so much.
Yes.
If you could go back and not change the circumstances, but maybe change our dynamic, what's one thing you would have changed, or you would change now?
That's a good question. I think the thing that I probably struggle with more than anything is asking for help sometimes. And I don't think at any point I chose to ask for help. I think I just chose to kind of flounder a little bit. And I don't know what you would have said. I mean, maybe you would have been like, okay, I understand. Let me come back a day earlier from my business trip. Or, okay, let me call one of my cousins and see if they can come help you. I don't know what you would have actually said. So for the sake of the taco audience, what would you have said?
For the taco audience, I would have said, hindsight, I would have said, hell yeah. I definitely want to help and contribute. I think the biggest thing for me is that I want you to feel safe to ask for help. If there's a reason why you don't feel safe enough to ask for help, I want to know that. Or is it just you don't know how, or you're not comfortable asking for help just in general?
I think it's more in general, but I also think that it can become pretty selective. So one thing that I've learned as I share this part of myself with other people is that I'm not alone in this experience of feeling like I'm a burden or it's inconvenient, or if I ask someone, they're going to say no to me, and that's going to be the worst thing in the world. But it comes really real when you really care about that person, and you really want to make them happy, and you really just don't want to get in the way of any of that sort of stuff, but and slow it down. So by doing that, you can disappoint a person. You never really want to do that, especially for the people you care the most about. So,
yeah, but what if, I'll just say it this way, it's not disappointing to me to be your teammate.
Yeah, I know, and that's something that, especially when you say teammate, I start to view it in a different light, for sure. So,
as opposed to the burden, or
yeah, I mean, I think I'm used to, when I think of our team, I think of it's you're focused on getting the goal, and I am focused on getting the goal, and we just kind of have faith in one another that we'll get there. And I'd like to think we're more interdependent, is what they often say, instead of codependent or independent there. So in my mind, interdependent means I count on you to do your thing, and you count on me to do my thing, and we'll meet on the other side of it all and be really pleased that we had each other's backs and we got to where we needed to go independently, but still working towards the same goal.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a challenge for me. I still do have to frequently struggle with that too, because I really don't want to disappoint you. That's the kind of the punchline of why I don't often try to rock the boat, so to speak, because I don't want to disappoint you, or yeah.
Well, I mean, in years past, we've been together for a very long time. I feel like maybe before I did some really deep work in therapy or my trauma therapy, I feel like when you would have asked for help, maybe I would have sounded disappointed or burdened or really critical. So maybe we have some healing to do there.
Yeah, well, and even you can look at my side of the coin there, is I've grown an awful lot from it there, but I mean, part of it was my familial background of being part of a single-parent family, as well as in a Catholic household where, guilt plays a very, very powerful role in things there. So to not feel guilty of anything that would cause someone else pain is sometimes a big motivator. So I've grown an awful lot in that, to the point that I'm not as prone to guilt. Yeah.
Is there anything you need help with right now that you're afraid to ask for help that I could?
Will you hand me a spoon, please?
Which kind has been?
It's that drawer. I know you don't come in the kitchen and help much. Just kidding.
This spoon or a wooden spoon?
This spoon.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just kidding. I really didn't need the spoon. I just wanted to ask for help. Thanks for this spoon. Actually, I could use a bowl. If you give me a bowl, I really could use a bowl.
Okay, so we got married.
Yes, we did.
On May 6th, and it is July 17th, so about 2 months and a week.
Yes.
And a year, so I proposed to you on July 16th of 2022. And on July 16th of 2023, the New York Times featured our wedding in the vows section.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. What did you think about that? And that's kind of cool. What did you think of the art?
Well, it was... Oh, I'm going to use the spoon. I'm glad I asked for it. I was pretty surprised by it. I certainly was aware the New York Times had a section like this, but I honestly thought it was I was going to appear like a sofa ad in the classified section for people old enough to remember when you needed to sell a sofa, you listed it in the newspaper. So I thought it was just going to be a couple sentences about when we got married and what happened. Mm-hmm. But this was so much more than that over time. And it went from a really cool news article online to this massively huge, like almost full page spread that they did on us, which I thought was pretty amazing. And as I jokingly told you yesterday, when people across the country started to message me and say, "Hey, I saw you in New York Times," I realized I'm pretty sure this is the only reason you got married with Timmy is because you want to be featured in the New York Times. So, but pretty amazing, pretty impressive.
Was there a part of the article that you liked the most?
Oh, I mean, I definitely liked the mention of the rings. I think that's really when it comes down to it, when you ask me my favorite parts of the whole wedding, the rings are always the biggest part. Would you hand me another bowl, please? Look at me asking for help. So yeah, the rings are always a very big part of my favorite part of the whole thing because I'm particularly proud of yours.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the quote. A month later, Mr. Jones proposed with a rose gold ring that was made from copper scrap from the Statue of Liberty, as well as some of Mr. Archuleta's godmother's ashes. Mr. Jones gathered Mr. Archuleta's friends and family together at Union Station. Mr. Archuleta was on the train headed to the station, and when the train pulled into the station, everyone fired cannons of confetti. The whole terminal was covered in blue and pink, Mr. Archuleta said. They had brunch afterward, and then the couple went straight to the airport for a trip to New York for Mr. Archuleta's 39th birthday. Yeah. So does that mean for my 40th birthday, we're going back to New York City?
No. You're going to have to do better than that.
I mean, that's perfectly fine. You could just take me there every year.
I know you'd love it.
I would.
So, what was your favorite part of the article? Because I know you put a lot of heart and soul into it.
Oh. I don't know. I think just, honestly, just the fact that it's a thing, just that, like, it's memorialized in this really cool publication that we get to have it and hold it forever. I think it's also really cool to tell, like, our story from conversion therapy to meeting at a church to overcoming our fears and our struggles to being out and proud. And I think that's a really important story for people to share, and I'm glad that we get to add ours to the mix.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I've had a lot of interesting people coming out of the woodworks here who had read the article, and they are Christian, and I think that was the thing that they actually picked up on most of all was just kind of this unique progression of religion and faith and belief, and just kind of the journey that was encapsulated into it. So that's a very unique story.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about these tacos you're cooking.
Well, I'm probably getting a little too veggie heavy. I'll tell you that. I got a lot going on. So, but we're getting there. We're getting there for sure. So I just need to get the tortillas going, and then we'll start building a taco. So
cool. Okay, so the tacos are done.
It's taco time.
Taco time. And okay, so you used steak that was marinated.
Yep.
And you used coconut yogurt because sheep yogurt because I cannot have cow. But you also put
some lemon zest, some garlic, some salt and pepper, and some crumbles of goat. So it created a little bit of more of a crumbly cheese. And then we got two different kinds of slaw. You got your tomato basil, standard sort of thing there. And then you've got your cabbage and banana pepper for a little bit of tart and sweet and acidic. And we've assembled that into the taco, which is right here. And of course, my favorite hack, this is probably one of the more brilliant things I've ever come up with, is how do you get that taco to, you know, fit inside and hold that pretty like taco shape? Coffee mug. Boom. Just once you're done frying it, puts it in there, and it holds it into that nice, perfect little taco shape. So there you go.
Nice.
You know, if you don't learn anything about therapy, you learn something about making tacos, right?
Well, there you go. That's a good point.
Okay, but really, what's most important is
sucker?
how does it taste? It could taste like garbage, even though it has the shape of a taco.
I'm sure it's not garbage.
Let's see how it lands.
Banana peppers?
Banana peppers.
Oh, so good.
Yep, vinegary. A bit of spice, maybe.
Oh, with the steak.
She's
a winner. Well, thank you for joining us for Taco Tuesdays,
Yeah.
where we talk about our relationship and Joe makes some really yummy food. So, it's a win-win for me.
Oh yeah, the banana peppers. Those work.
They're so good. All right, well, until next week. Bye.